What's up, you guys? Gypsy Fox. I'm having one of those days or one of those weeks. It's been nonstop. It's been nonstop hell. I go and get 2 crowns put on, temporary crowns, and they keep falling off. And I got to go back in a week and get the permanent ones. And I'm wondering, like, should I even get these things put on? I was reading that bacteria could get underneath them. And anyways, and then the other day, I was telling you, I'll make a video in the future. I've been having a lot of problems with this new van I bought. For 5 months, it was in and out of the shop. It had a new motor put in, like they replaced a motor, BCM modular, ignition cable, starter, like you name it, right? And the dealership, they were breaking my balls. And they weren't honoring certain things that fall underneath my warranty. And it was a nightmare. And I was taking care of my aunt who was dying in the hospice. And it all started in July, and my aunt died in October. And then they finally finished my car and had it to where it was running without any problems. And this is where I live. In October, November, like January, in and out of the shop, right? And I went back to work a couple times doing trucking, and I'm just too sick to work, and I can't really talk about that on YouTube because you know why. So I'm not. I didn't get the magic potion. That's not why I'm sick, but. Something's wrong with me, and I can't really figure out what it is, and neither can none of the doctors can figure out either. So I'm doing all kinds of supplements and all kinds of like naturopathic things, and I'm just not doing good health-wise. I feel like shit all the time, and so I wasn't able to keep working. And so I was on the road working, and they finished my van. So I quit and came back and got my van, and I've been living in my van stuck in the city. I can't really go anywhere because I was supposed to start reunification with my daughter, and my ex-wife is causing problems with the process in doing things. She's like doing little tactics to keep the process from moving smoothly. So I'm stuck in limbo again, right? And I'm in the city, and so like 3 days ago, I go to get my tires rotated. I made the mistake of buying, these tires from a Pakistani tire place, right? And you go in there and they're like, oh, we're so honorable and respectful, and we've been here for 30 years. So I buy tires from this greaseball. And then he goes, you could come back every 5,000 miles to get your tires rotated. So I go, all right, cool. So like 5 days ago, I go back in, and the guy looks at me like, what are you doing here? And I say, you told me I could come back and get my tires rotated and balanced and shit. So he doesn't balance them, but he rotates them. And his mechanic, on the very last tire, he's putting in the last bolt, right? The last bolt. He puts the bolt in sideways at a 45-degree angle and hits it with the drill gun, and the bolt strips out. He completely strips out my bolt. The Pakistani owner of the place hands me the bolt and goes, take it to a mechanic and they'll fix it. It's no big deal, and have them put it in. So I thought, okay. So I leave, go to my mechanic, and the mechanic goes, this bolt is gone. It's completely stripped out. In my vehicle, like, it was like almost impossible to find another bolt. I had to order it online, and then it was the wrong bolt, and I finally got an auto parts store to track one down. It was like $20. So I get a new bolt, and I go to put it into the hole on the hub. In the hole where you screw the nut into on my hub, where the tire goes onto, is completely stripped out. So by me taking the car in to get my tires balanced at this Pakistani shop, they not only stripped my nut, my bolt that was going to go back into the hub to hold the tire on, they stripped out the inside, you know, you know how a nut screws in is called the, I forget what it's called. Anyways, so long story short, I had to order a brand new hub for $100 something, the bolts, and then I gotta pay a mechanic tomorrow $150 to replace the hub on a brand new van that the tire shop people stripped out. And when I called the owner and try to get him to compensate for it, when I try to get the owner to compensate for the damage he did to my hub, I've spent the last week running around doing all this work. I finally got the hub ordered. It got here today, and I got to take it in tomorrow. And I'm talking to the Pakistani dude today. And long story short, we get into it. And I'm not good at confrontation. I could go into my life story, but when I was younger, I was very unpredictable and dangerous when I was younger. I've ruined most of my life by being a knucklehead, put it that way. And everywhere I try to go to take a nap, there's people. I'm like trying to go behind a gym and take a nap, and there's a bunch of people behind the gym. And so wow, this guy's got people out here. I usually go behind the gym, and they've got people all over the place. People are everywhere. People are the enemy. Anyways, so this Pakistani place destroys my hub with a bolt. And we get into it on the phone, and he ends up saying, if you call me again, I'm going to call the police and tell them you're harassing me. So I'm out of $300. I got to take my vehicle to a mechanic tomorrow and have them replace the hub. These idiots put the bolt in at a 45-degree angle and try to shoot it in, and it just ate out all of the rivets or the housing inside of the hub. So that's kind of where I'm at with everything. And I was going to go try to take a nap at the park. And I'm sitting there at the park, right? I'm just about to crawl in the back and take a nap. And a car pulls up next to me. And these two cops get out of the car in like SWAT gear, right? I'm like, what the fuck is this, you know? And they're like giving me the evil eye. You know how cops hate civilians. And so I roll my window down and say to the guy, like, what's going on? Are you guys using this area as like a staging area to go and like SWAT somebody's house? You know what I mean? Like, if you are, I'm getting the fuck out of here, you know? And he goes, no, you're all right, dude. And then I watch them. They walk over to some house. They like, I guess they like raided some house. And anyway, so I'm at the park, and the cops decide to use the area I was going to take a nap in as like a staging area to go and like raid somebody's house. And I was going to stay there and just say fuck them, but I was like, I'm good. You know, they're taking pictures of your license plate, and the guy had a body camera and he's like talking to me, and I'm like, dude, I don't want to be on your body camera and have my license plate scanned. So I'm just rolling with the punches, man. It like my luck is so bad that if it was raining pussy, I would get hit in the head with a dick. So I put together kind of a compilation of videos, and I'll upload it, and maybe you will enjoy it, maybe you won't. I'll start making more videos, like doing a lot of editing and cool stuff and hiking and, you know, like all of the van life, like the normal van lifers. I'm eventually going to do that. It's just right now I'm trying to get things balanced and somewhat normal and peaceful and sane. And no matter what I do, something bad always keeps happening. And just now I went to go behind my gym to take a nap and use their internet, and there's like a personal trainer, and he's like in a spot I park in under these trees, like a really perfect spot, and he's got everybody back there. He's got like a group exercise program going. So yeah, I'm still in my pajamas because I've been up early just going and going and going and going. So anyways, I'll upload this compilation of videos and just kind of showing you the van life from a different perspective. It's like 4:30 a.m. I'm using the red light because you would not be able to see me because it's too dark. Anyway, so I have found the best area to sleep in. You got 24-hour security, you got lights, you got people always coming and going. And as long as you lay low in the van, nobody's gonna know you're there. And I'm not sure I want to disclose that information. I might like only give it out like the perfect place to park in the van to like real van lifers. They could email me because I don't want to blow up. I don't want to fog up the spot, blow up the spot. You know, it's the best. It is the safest and best parking area I have ever found. And I found it by accident. It's 4:30 a.m. and I'm going to the gym to shower. But like before I shower, I'm gonna do burpees in the parking lot. I might do my pull-ups and dips inside the gym. I don't like working out in gyms. The only thing that like would benefit me inside of a gym is the squat rack. Like I'm not a weightlifter anymore. I like to do pull-ups, burpees, and dips. Like that's all I need to do. And I don't like the politics of the gym. However, I work out. This is advice to like a van lifer or just anybody in general. There's a gym called Anytime Fitness, and it's a 24-hour gym, and they're small. And the clientele that goes in and out of there is like, you know, low key. Like it's usually older people, and then if it's younger people, they're not like, you know, all like you see at 24-hour fitness or the big gyms. I don't go into big gyms. Anyway, so sometimes I get up real early, sometimes I sleep in. It just depends on what I have to do. So today I did not sleep good. I was having nightmares last night. A friend of mine was like getting hit with bottles and all kinds of stuff and was like bleeding everywhere. It was crazy. I'm gonna have to send him a message and tell him, hey, I had this dream. I have this little circle of friends that are psychics. I've been in that circle. I do tarot readings and palm readings and numerology. And it's interesting when you have psychic friends because like you'll be going through something and all of a sudden you'll get a message like, hey, are you okay? And it's like, yeah. So anyways, when I have dreams about somebody like, you know, getting hurt, I always tell the person about it, because it could mean something a lot bigger, you know. Like we have dreams, and in our dreams we're able to see things that could possibly happen. And dreams aren't always meant to be taken at face value. You got to look for the allegories and metaphors. Anyway, so I'll go to the gym. I'll do 100 burpees in the parking lot on an empty stomach. Coffee, of course. And then I'll do my shower. And I might work out in the gym just to knock out my pull-ups and dips. And it's just really important to get your workouts in. If you're a van lifer or if you're just a regular person. And burpees, in my opinion, are the best workout you could possibly do. There's people on the internet, like on YouTube, that are like burpee freaks, like Iron Wolf or the Burpees Punisher. And those videos are good to watch because they'll show you a lot of different types of burpees. But I just do basic burpees, pull-ups, dips, and every once in a while I'll use the gym to do squats. So that's kind of what's happening this morning. And yeah, so anyways, I'll kind of gonna document what I do like throughout the day and keep you guys updated. All right, thank you. Hey, what's up, you guys? Dobry utro. All right, so I'm actually feeling very good today. Not 100%. So I got up at like 3, couldn't go back to sleep. Drove to the gym, and then I did my burpees in the parking lot at like 4 a.m. And when you live in a van, you gotta be careful, because regular people, when they know you're living in a van, or when they see me doing burpees in the parking lot, they don't know how to register that. Like you'll see the people, like today I worked out in the gym, and all I do is I superset. So I did pull-ups, dips, overhead presses, and that's it, back to back to back. And I did like 15 sets of 10 of each of them. And I usually don't work out in the gym. Anyways, when you live in the van and you pull up somewhere like a gym, and I go to a small gym, it's nationwide. So that means like if I travel somewhere, I could find that gym and shower and work out. However, it's the people that go there are like, you know, they're not people like us. They're not street guys. They're not, you know, they're not ex-convicts. They're not truck drivers. They're not, you know, they're not the tough breed of Americans that we are. And so when they, like, people like this morning, they pulled up and I was like preparing a pre-workout drink and cleaning an apple. Like, I had the doors open and it was pitch dark, and I had my where's it at? I had this on my head, and I had the red light on, and it was freaking people out. Like, I noticed that people were like stopping in the parking lot looking at me like, what's going on? Like, when people see this and you're doing something, they think either one, you're like a druggy tweaker person, or, you know, you're a homeless person. And people don't realize that you could live in the van, be homeless, and not be a dirtball. So I'm outside of the car, and I did my burpees, and I had a couple people pull in, and they're looking at me like, what are those? What is that guy doing? And then I was doing my business, you know, making a pre-workout drink, and people were kind of tripping out when they came pulling in the parking lot because I had the red light on. And then when you go into the gym, like they're looking at you. It's not that you have to be careful. It's, you know, the world that we live in human nature, you know, you got to always factor that into the equation, you know. And it was just funny because I'm in the gym working out, and the people that saw me in the parking lot doing burpees or preparing a drink with the door open and the red light on, you know, they're looking at me in the gym like, that's the guy that was working out in the parking lot. And, you know, anyways, so I went in, got a really good workout, did my burpees in the parking lot, and got a shower. And so I got burpees done, pull-ups, dips, and overhead presses, back to back to back supersets. That's all I do is supersets. I don't work out like a bodybuilder. I work out like a fighter. And there's a really cool area to walk by the river in the city, and I'm going to get a chance to also go for like a 1 hour walk. But I wanted to show you guys my my post-workout meal. I usually don't eat until like noon. Like, I'll fast from 8 p.m. to like noon or 1, and then I'll eat. But however, if I work out in the morning, I like to eat something after I get done working out. And this is a really easy meal. You can make living in the van or living at home, and it stores well, and it stays fresh for a long time. So I bought some peanut butter. I usually get organic. This is non-GMO. Right now the organic's like $6 for this size. This was $3, and I'm kind of broke, so I got this. It's non-GMO. I never go lower than non-GMO. However, it has sugar in it. In the peanut butter I usually get doesn't have sugar. However, I say however because I don't like saying but. However, if you're going to eat sugar, like it's cane sugar, like it's not very good for you, but it's not as bad as like, regular sugar. And there's differences in sugar. You can look it up. Cane sugar is not as bad. If you're going to eat, like I have to eat this. I can't afford to buy the organic right now that has no sugar. So what I do is if I have some food like peanut butter and it has sugar in it and I want to eat it, but I can't eat sugar because it's not good for me, I'll eat, the only time I'll eat it and the only time it'll actually be good for you is after a workout. So I just worked out. I've been worked out for like hour and a half, 2 hours. So when I eat this, the sugar in here, instead of it going nowhere and making me fat and causing a spike in insulin, it'll actually be beneficial to my body. I want a spike in insulin right now because it'll take all the nutrients from my food and push it into the muscle. It's called muscle synthesizing. It's where it repairs the muscle. So I get a thing of peanut butter. I get walnuts. Put a handful of walnuts in here, or like a palm full, like the size of your palm. And then I'll take pumpkin seeds, and then I'll do 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, and then I'll put some honey on here. Everything organic. And then I'll take 3 or 4 bites of this. Then I'm going to have an apple. It's an organic apple. And I'll show you how to clean fruit on the road in another video. And then I'm going to have, I put them in my pockets. So I'm going to have the peanut butter with the pumpkin seeds, walnuts, olive oil, and honey in peanut butter. Apple. And then this morning I made a pre-workout drink, and it was water, lemon, and cayenne pepper. And I took some vitamin B, like complex. And anyway, so like whenever I squeeze lemon into something, I save the leftover because I eat the inside part. It's really good for you. And instead of just using the juice, I eat the whole thing. I don't eat the skin. The skin's good for you. It's just I didn't really clean it very well. And then I'll do 4 eggs, organic eggs, hard boiled. And and then that'll be my breakfast. And then I won't eat until this evening. I'll eat one more time, and I'll probably eat white rice, eggs, and salmon with like hot sauce and mustard, all organic. So a little trick, I'll eat these, and out of one or 4 of these eggs, I'll keep the shell, and I'll eat the shell. I'm not going to go into a huge lecture on what the shell does for you, except I'll tell you that the shell of an egg, you want to use organic, cage-free, pasture-raised eggs. The eggshell, there's like a crazy guy. This is like a nice neighborhood riding around with like a mask, like a Antifa guy. I don't know why people do that. In the old days, if you saw somebody in a mask, rolling around your hood, it's usually, something bad's going to happen. Now it's like normal. Nobody even bats an eye. I do. Anyways, so when you get eggs, I would do this like every other day. You could do it every day. Keep the shell and eat the shell. Throw it in your mouth, chew it up real good, and swallow it with water. And 1 eggshell has 100% of the daily value of calcium. Plus, it has all kinds of other minerals and good things for your body in the eggshell. I'm actually going to start saving the eggshells and then I'll boil the eggshells again. These are hard-boiled eggs, but I'll reboil them, and then I'll smash them up, and I'll put them in a little jar, and then I can just pour myself like a tablespoon of eggshells, and that'll be all my calcium I need for the day, and all kinds of minerals and vitamins that come in the eggshell. And so, and then I'll show you some footage down here. So it's been kind of a nice morning because I'm going to get a chance now to go for a hike. And so I got a really good workout. I got a good meal in, 100 burpees, over 100 pull-ups, over 100 dips, over 100 shoulder press, superset, and go for a nice walk. I would go for a jog. I'm not a big jogger. I would rather, if I'm going to do cardio, I'll just do burpees, and then this walk I'll maybe do kind of a walk and talk, but that's kind of, this is nice to me, and I could only do this living in the van. However, you got to be careful of the normies, because when they see you in the van and you're doing stuff like burpees and you're preparing food and you have a red light on and it's 4 o'clock in the morning, they're going to think you're a druggie, a tweaker person, or a criminal, and so it's good to kind of stay away from those people. It's human nature. That's how humans are. And as long as you're a good person and you're not doing any weird stuff, no harm done. So anyways, thank you. So yesterday I'm driving from the gym and I see a lady like curled up in a ball with like a big jacket over her outside of my gym in the back. And I thought she was dead. And everybody's just driving past her. And I'm like, that lady's dead. So I stop and I get out. I go, hello? Hello? And she finally wakes up. She wasn't dead. I thought she was dead, right? I was like, I got to call an ambulance. This lady was very beat up from life. She looked like she was on her last leg. And I was like, do you need help? Is it like, just naturally I went into a protection mode. And some of these homeless people are just, I'm in front of a McDonald's. I'm just watching the homeless people. Some of them are just very just not good people. You can tell like they're on the streets because they burned every bridge, and they're just, you can see they're dangerous people, and they rob and steal from old homeless people. And that ties into the lady I talked to yesterday. So it was an old homeless lady. I don't know why she was on the streets. I don't know if she was crazy. They're all crazy. Like, they need to be in facilities that deal with crazy people. That's what a compassionate, rich, first world country does, is you care for people. You have empathy for people. And so, anyways, I go to the store and buy her like $25 in food and coffee and stuff, right? And I make her a mocha, and like she's got a sandwich and string cheese and these chocolate bars and like, and I'm like, this is good. This is going to make her happy. And then I get a big old thing of coffee and cream and then a thing of ice. And I drove back to where she was and I sat down with her. And I've never been like that on the streets, homeless, but my whole life is a tragedy. And so I've been in really bad situations, and I had empathy and compassion for the person. And so she gets up and her cigarettes are like laying over here, and she's got a dollar bill, and I gather it for her, and she starts giving me her spiel, like she's been robbed like 7 times, and that's what happens in these homeless, in the homeless world. It's a rough life, right? And like this little punk homeless guy, he just walked by and he's like giving me the evil eye. I'm trying not to engage people. I had some black dude in a store, some young kid, big tall guy, giving me the evil eye, like, because I'm whitey. And so I'm trying not to engage people because sometimes I just don't want to fuck around with people. Anyways, so the lady's telling me she got robbed, and she looks bad, and she's has hardly anything. Like, she has a pair of pants, a shirt, a big jacket, no socks. And I'm like, do you want a pair of wool socks? And she's like, no. I'm like, what are you, fucking crazy? Like, I'm like, all right. And I'm like, she's got all the food. And I'm like, do you want me to open this up for you? She looks at me like, what am I, a fucking retard? And I'm like, oh, okay, that, you know. And so she grabs the candy bars and just eats those and leaves everything else sitting there. And I asked her again, do you want me to open that so you can eat that sandwich and the cheese, get some protein? And she goes, I'm very capable of doing it myself. I'm like, all right. So then I go and I give her an old sleeping bag I have that I use to lay on, just for extra cushion, right? I'm actually going to throw it away. I was going to save it, but it's like a $25 sleeping bag, and I've had it for way too long, and it's too bulky. But I give it to her, right? Because I'm worried about her. And I'm like, do you want me to call you an ambulance? Are you sick, you know? And so I give her like $25 in food. And I have to be very careful with money right now. And so I leave her this sleeping bag and a bag of food. And I wasn't doing it to make myself feel better. I was doing it because I've been in situations to where I needed help and no one helped me. So I was just like, I've got an extra sleeping bag. I got $40 in my pocket. Fuck it, you know? Anyways, so late last night, I come back to that same area, that gym, behind the gym, to pull up behind the gym to use my cell phone because they have free internet. I haven't upped my phone with internet service, so I'm just using Wi-Fi, just to see what it feels like. It actually feels good because I'm not on the internet watching videos all the time. So I drive to the back of the gym where that lady was, and I look in my sleeping bag is sitting there in the bag of food with there was like 4 things of string cheese, a croissant turkey and cheese sandwich, a Greek yogurt, and something else. And I'm like, that fucking bitch she didn't even lay on the sleeping bag, right? I'm like, here's a sleeping bag. If you're gonna fucking lay on the concrete, lay on this fucking thing. You know, she says she was hungry. I get her some food. She doesn't even fucking eat it. She just ate the candy bars. Bought her two big old things of coffee, right? She only drank like this much of it. And I'm like, motherfucker, right? So I walk over, I get a garbage bag, I grab my sleeping bag, because I'm like, that's my sleeping bag. My daughter has been on that sleeping bag, right? It's kind of sacred to me, you know? And it's just sitting there on the fucking ground, not even used. I gave it to the lady hoping she would take it with her. And then the bag of food I went and spent $25 fucking on it was sitting there, right? And it had been there all day, but I was like, you know what? I went over and I grabbed that bag of food and I fucking grabbed my sleeping bag, I put it in a trash bag, and I got back into my car and I drove behind the gym where I could get Wi-Fi, and I ate all that food. She didn't even touch it. It was clean. And I'm like, I'm not going to throw away $25 in food. So why am I making a story? Because I'm always doing things to help people. And like, as I was so yesterday, as I helped that lady, that homeless lady, there's this old lady getting out of her car, and she could barely get out of her car with a walker and shit. And I'm like, everything in me is saying, mind your own business, right? Fuck that lady. Seriously, right? And then I go, no. And I go, hey, ma'am, do you need help, you know, getting your fat fucking ass out of the car? I want to, no, I'm joking. But I'm like, ma'am, do you need help? That lady looked at me like I was out of my mind and goes, no, I don't. And it took her like 20 minutes to get out of the car, right? And I'm thinking, why are you doing this, right? And, so yeah, the moral of the story is help people, have empathy, have compassion, but you have to take care of yourself first. Before you can take care of 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, you got to take care of number 1. And I've always done that to where I'll neglect myself and put other people ahead of me. And that was a slap in the face of reality yesterday. You know what I mean? Like, you know, fuck. But yeah, I ate all that food. I'm like, I'm not gonna let this food go to waste. So there you go.